and welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday, everybody. We are so glad to have you joining us, and with me in studio, as always, I have my lovely co-host, Becky.
Hey everyone, how are you?
And we have a very special guest tonight, and I'm going to let you go ahead and say your name so I don't mess it up.
It's okay. Denny Wasmund.
I was almost had it. But before we get too much into his story, we have Becky going with the
infamous disclaimer.
Yes.
Disclaimers.
Disclaimers. So, all right, go ahead and.
We are not doctors, therapists, counselors, or trained medical professionals. We are not here to treat, diagnose, or prescribe any means of treatment. We are here to share what we have been through and overcome in the hopes of inspiring, uplifting, and empowering others.
Yes. So, thank you guys for listening through that. We got to put that out there because we are not trained professionals. We're just here to share what we've been through and hope that we can reach at least one person out there. So, we are so glad that you guys are joining us tonight, and especially our special guest, like I said. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We got a couple things that we want to go over. We've got some unspoken prayer requests out there that we'd like, if you guys are into praying or whatever it is you do, you want to put those good vibes out there, however you put it. We've got some people that have been messaging in. There's been a lot going on before the holiday season with, sicknesses and illnesses, different things going on. And we just ask guys that you go ahead and put those prayers up if you can, and keep those families in your thoughts right now, because the holiday season's a bit rough to begin with. So
it is.
We thank you guys for that.
There have also been a couple of prayer requests for people who are grieving as well.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure.
So keep those people in your prayers as well.
Yep, this time of year is a very, very tough season if you're missing one of your loved ones that are up in heaven. And so thank you for putting those good vibes and prayers out there for everybody. We appreciate that. And we had a really fun event.
We did.
What was it? It was a bazaar. It was in town at Big Acres. And Dawn invited us, which was a lot of fun. And we put up our booth for one day. It was going for 3 days. So Santa was there. It was a lot of fun. And we've got another one coming up.
That one is on December 20th.
Okay.
That one is Ladies' Night at the clubhouse in Grandview Apartments.
Yeah.
There's going to be, is it 12 vendors?
I believe 12 in that space. Yes, we have 12 vendors coming. Ducky's Doodads, you're going to have your wonderful hats there for sale, among other things. Dawn will have her Rarity Nails there. I'll have some stuff from Dragonfly Boutique.
We'll also
and
have
Survivor Girl
stuff.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. We've got Perfectly Posh. We've got there's so many. Paparazzi's coming. Just a lot of different little businesses, small businesses, trying to get some Christmas shopping done right before Christmas. If you guys want to come and join us, there will be some snacks and different stuff there as well. Yes. And we get to meet you, so that would be really cool, and we're looking forward to that. So all that we ask, it's not any kind of cover to get in. All we ask is that you bring a non-perishable item so that we can donate that to one of the local food pantries to help families out at this time of the season.
And there will be a box at the door for the donations.
Yep. So, or even if you guys want to bring a toy or whatever that's not been open, we can ship that over to Toys for Tots as well. And I think that'll be okay also. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys. I think that's the main thing we got going on. Mitch Gill's Get a Room Comedy Club is coming up December 30th. December 31st, I mean.
Yes.
For some reason, I was looking.
New Year's Eve, but you'll get done in plenty of time to go to parties to bring in the new year.
Will you tell them a little bit about the details on that?
As far as I know, it's going to be at the Brentwood, and doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m., and there's going to be about 4 comics plus Mitch. Usually.
Good time. Always
it's
a good time.
Always fun. Great way to bring in the new year.
21 and up.
21 and up.
So come get some laughs on, get that laugh therapy going, and then you guys can go out and celebrate bringing the new year with your friends, your family, or whatever it is that you're doing. So
Mitch's Fake Radio is the 30th, though.
Oh yes, that's what I was thinking.
That's what you were thinking.
Mitch's Fake Radio. He only is on once a month. Strange Friends Media Group puts that podcast on along with This Is Your Brain. This is my brain. This is my brain.
This is my brain, yes.
And don't make this weird as well, guys. Including this show. So we thank them, and we also thank solidstateradio.net. You guys can catch any of those shows. Almost, This is my brain will be on there shortly. They're just starting out, but you can catch all those podcasts over there on that FM station. So go ahead and check that out as well. So I think we got everything that we're plugging.
Well, we also
what you got?
have we have the special that we're doing
Oh yeah,
on the 22nd.
the 22nd. We're gonna have a Christmas special, you guys. So
No live chat, but
yeah, right.
yeah.
But that's okay.
It
So
will
you
be
guys
the-
can tune in.
It will be the last Survivor Girl episode
of
of the year.
I'm super excited about that. Yeah, I can't believe we've already made it to the end here. It's going by fast, guys.
It is. And
So-
we've got things in chat already. So
Oh,
do you want
awesome.
to start that?
Go ahead.
Well, Candy says, hello, ladies. Hello, Candy. Dawn
Candy.
says, hello, everyone.
And Tony says, sounding great, ladies. Great to see you and your smiling faces. Thank you guys for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.
Yes.
Everybody else that's coming in, go ahead and say hi, and we'll mention you in the chat. We love the live
Yes.
chat and the comments and everything. We're hoping that you guys are having a fantastic Sunday. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're glad that you're here. And we have Denny here hanging out with us. And Denny, we work together.
Yeah.
So last season, I seen the your flyer for your book,
Yes.
and I had gone up to you and I was like, "How do you get that book published? You know, what's going on there?" And purchased the book because I was really curious about how your story was. And you said, "You have a story, don't you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I got one." So you encouraged me actually to instead of writing at that time to start this podcast. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. So I know I don't think I got a chance to tell you that, but
Okay.
I'm glad I can tell you that now. So I appreciate you coming and joining and you know seeing what we
This
got
is
going on here.
This is great.
So you've got quite a story, and I misspoke. I for some reason I think it was I read halfway through the book as far as I could get through it, and it's not that it didn't captivate me. I'm just a really bad reader. I can read. I just get so tired no matter what it is. And so I took it as you had gotten electrocuted, like hit by lightning. So I apologize that I misspoke. But Denny's going to go ahead and tell us a bit about where you can get his book
Mhm.
and what your story is about.
Well, I have a publishing company. I am the publishing company.
Okay.
But you can purchase the book through me. You know, it's a message and
Yeah.
what have you. But
And
So
the
we can
name-
put you up on our Facebook page
Yeah.
if they're interested in getting. You sign the copies too,
yeah,
which is
absolutely.
very cool.
Yeah.
I've got
And-
my signed
And what is
copy.
the title of that book?
Electrocuted. Inspiring true story of faith, courage, and the will to live.
That's awesome. It's a very good book, you guys. If we'll put the link up for you so you can get a hold of Denny and get a signed copy for you. Yeah, it's definitely a really amazing story. So I'm glad you're here to share it today. So,
Thank you.
do you want to kind of just start out where it all kind of begins in your book? And then-
Right. As I wrote the book, I had to start from the beginning as far as my childhood and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so, you know, I grew up in an alcoholic family, and so my mother was an alcoholic, and so there was that. And then, so, you know, as time went on, you know, my faith and was strong. So it's kind of tough, you know, to still talk about to this day.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
So, but you know, so in 2008, I was on the job, and I had just gotten off the phone with my wife, and I told her I'd call her back in 10 minutes. And so the next thing I know, I had picked up the drill, and it had sucked me right in. I was gone immediately.
oh wow.
So, yeah, so they did, they tried to do CPR and stuff like that. And I ended up by the neighbor's house.
Mhm.
And so the fire department came out, and they tried to resuscitate me, and they couldn't. So they kind of took me to St. John's in Detroit,
Mhm.
and I was a burn victim. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so they couldn't, so they sent me to DMC, and then that's when
Wow.
they started working on me.
Wow. So how far away were you from
Well, it's funny.
there?
Yeah. Well, there was another call that was supposed to come in,
Mm-hmm.
and they that was canceled somehow, and they said there was another guy that just got electrocuted, so go get him. And so,
Wow. I've got like
Oh.
really bad chills right
Yeah.
now. I'm feeling that,
yeah.
you know.
So yeah, so it was meant to be for them to come and get me, and so and then I got to give a shout out to. I just didn't do this on my own. There's a lot of people that helped me through
Yeah,
this,
for sure.
and Greg Horton is one of the guys. It's funny, we moved up here,
Mm-hmm.
and he lives out in our lake.
Okay.
So and so we keep in touch, which is good.
That's cool.
And, but
Wow.
yeah, there was a new guy on the job at the time. I say new. We had worked together for 6 weeks. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And so, there was this and that, and we were supposed to have, this kind of equipment, and they didn't give it to us. So
So
yeah,
like it wasn't like even updated or something was faulty with the equipment or
yeah, there was with the drill, and then we were supposed to have a generator, and so they just said just plug into the house, and
oh wow.
and so we did that. And
So I'm assuming you were a contractor or a
yep,
builder.
yeah, for the gas company. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
Alright.
okay.
Our job was to move the gas meters out, and so
Jeez. So you said they came to work on you and they weren't able to until that ambulance or like there was people there that were trying to resuscitate
yeah,
you before the ambulance had gotten there.
Greg was trying to revive me, and he got so tired he stopped.
Wow.
And so they hit me with the paddles. So I must have been in cardiac arrest. I don't remember.
Right. Well,
I
yeah.
woke up 11 days later. So
Oh wow.
whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Ooh.
and so there's yeah, and then we got to the hospital, and my brother had showed up, and some of the family.
Jeez. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So how long were you in the hospital? I'm sure you had like a lot of rehabilitation and stuff to do.
Yeah. What they did was they did this thing called the Arctic Sun.
Okay.
And so if anybody wants to look that up or whatever, they do that for patients that go into cardiac arrest.
Okay.
And so it cools the body down to a certain temperature so you don't get, so they can protect the brain.
Okay.
So
yeah.
they did that, and so and then yeah, it's hard for me to remember. I was in a coma for 11 days, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
just
Yeah. That's
That has to be a rough.
Oh.
When you're in the coma, you probably don't remember much
no,
of that
it was
time.
coming out of it
yeah.
is where I write in the book the
Yeah, what's
experience.
going on with that after? Because you had a lot of stuff that did you have to relearn a lot of stuff? Did you have like
Oh yeah,
like a lot
there was that part. I had to learn how to walk, and it's funny when they took my trach out. Yeah, she was wondering, if I was going to be able to speak or not,
oh wow.
and they were so surprised I was able to speak so
Yeah.
clearly, And I was
Jeez.
like, I need some water.
Yeah.
I was thirsty.
Oh,
I
I
was thirsty.
bet. I bet.
So,
Man.
but
And did you have little kids at the time too?
yeah, Austin and Ashley, they're my oldest here. So Austin's 18 already, and Ashley's 16.
Yeah.
They were, close to 7 and 4.
Just
or maybe
little.
4. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
To this day, when they came up to the room to see me in the bed. It's just certain images you never forget. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah. Experience where they actually intubated him, and I was there throughout the whole time. And when he did wake up, he couldn't speak at the time, and
Yeah.
he was just like pointing to stuff, and he was getting so frustrated at me because I didn't know what he wanted.
Mhm.
So it was just remembering that part, and he remembers me coming up there, and he says the same thing. Like it was hard to see me come up to see him how he was.
yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, I can imagine, especially having little ones, and you were married, and
Oh, my wife, the rock of this whole situation.
yeah.
Um,
How long were you married before the
We had
accident?
gotten we married in '97, so yeah,
Okay.
and I was 33 when it happened.
Yeah.
And like I said, my faith before was strong, and now he's given me the opportunity to be able to move this thing forward,
Yeah.
so I can help others. And that was the whole point of this. I mean, when we met up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it, it's other people's stories. It's
Yeah.
not for me to hang on to. I always say this too.
Right.
You know what I mean. Am I going to hang on to this? No.
Right.
And so, and then the other part too was it was nerve wracking to try to write this too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they diagnosed me with everything: PTSD,
Oh,
major
yeah.
depression, anxiety, all this here, the drugs that I was on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Completely changes you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so if this book can help others that are in need, I mean, if they're even contemplating suicide.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you? I know that's probably a hard question to ask you, but did you
Okay.
go through some of those feelings at the time
Oh,
with
absolutely.
everything you had going on?
Absolutely. And uh, wondering why he didn't take me.
Yeah.
That was a hard thing for me to.
Survivor's guilt.
Tony. Oh
Yeah.
man, brother. I can tell. Yep. And so I still, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I still fight with that today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it changes you so much, and that
Yep.
it is like a survivor's guilt of things, or on some things. I mean, I know you're different with what happened to you, but
Yeah.
I can't even begin to imagine having that feeling of why am I here when you're fighting for everything to regain your life back to, but you are a different person.
There's all that.
There's such a shift.
Yeah.
Because you are relearning everything. Did you have a lot of like memories that you had lost, or
Yeah.
not just from the day that happened? Did you have anything, that you?
Well, see, I still fight with that today as the short term.
Yeah. Right.
And so
Yeah.
dealing with that, you know what I mean?
I can't.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And I try to take it with a grain,
Right.
salt, and then it's like,
It's frustrating.
yeah, and a lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand it either. They're like, "What do you
Yeah.
what's the matter with you? You look fine." That's another thing.
They think you look fine on the outside.
That's
but
the miracle of this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
They only gave me 1% chance of living.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if I did was to wake up, they told my wife to get ready for the nursing home. Gotta be in a vegetable state.
Whoa.
But that was the miracle about this too. There's I write in the book, portions of it that
Mhm.
Father came and prayed over me, and 2 days later I woke up. But they took me off the machines, and the thing in the back of your mind, in the back of your head, that makes you wake up,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't functioning, and so they were
didn't think.
questioning that too.
Yeah. So they weren't expecting you to.
No.
Even be where you're at right now. That's
No.
Wow.
Yeah, and so when I write in the book, different things that happen.
Do you think that the things that you experienced earlier on in your life helped you move through this because you had gone through so many hard times?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that time when you're younger and you go, why me? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And then you put those two together, what it helps you to fight.
Yeah.
That's
And-
crazy.
Yeah, I started talking about my mother and the alcohol abuse and the abuse that that I took and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so I believe that's what made me who I am today,
Had that fight.
So, yeah.
You've mentioned your wife a couple of times.
Christine, yeah.
Christine.
Yeah.
What role did she play in helping you?
She still plays the role.
Yeah.
Still plays the role. Okay. So expound on that.
The bills and this and that, and so being home, it's nice. I can still take care of the kids. Well, not Austin, Ashley. We were blessed to have two more.
Okay.
We did
Okay.
lose one before Emma and Ruby at 10 weeks, but we had Emma. She's 5, and Ruby's gonna be 3 in February.
Oh, wow.
goodness. Littles.
So yeah, there's a lot of people
Aw.
out there that read the book and they're like, "Where's part 2?"
Yeah. Is there gonna be?
Is
Yeah.
there?
Are you gonna add some more
Hard to
to
say.
it? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
not it.
I mean, the success of people buying your book now, it's hard sometimes to follow up when you're with your first, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
But have you thought about any other kind of books like you talk about or we kind of touched on base about, praying and the different things with your faith. Have you thought
Yeah.
about different kind of going a different avenue with the book?
Not at this time.
Not
Yeah.
at this time.
I mean, just
Yeah.
doing what I'm doing right now,
Yeah, you've done
and it's fun.
different things too, other than podcasts. You've actually done some different
Yeah, and
speeches and stuff too,
yeah,
right?
different book signings and
Yeah,
stuff like that, which
that's
has been
cool.
real nice. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Get to meet a lot of different people that way.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's real special. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's with doing this podcast, we've got to, and the other podcasts as well, we've got to meet so many different people. And I think with this podcast, because of sharing different stories and different things that we are surviving and thriving through,
Yes.
to be able to touch other people's lives has just been, it's been incredible to be able to do that. However,
Yeah.
when you get to that point and you're sharing your story,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm nervous right now a
oh,
little
you're
bit.
fine.
So
You're
if you
fine.
can't tell,
No,
and so
this is totally different experience.
It
You
is.
know, we don't see everybody out there, but we know they're there and they're listening. You know, so
Yeah.
I get the a little bit of that anxiety there, but
Yeah.
what I mean, is when you're sharing your story, you're feeling those feelings. I don't know if you get that,
Oh,
like if you're
very much
feeling
so.
it and
Yeah.
like not reliving it, but kind of when you're thinking about
Oh,
it.
Heather. Yeah, I mean, a year, maybe two ago, I
Not
did basket case.
not
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah. I'm
That-
doing pretty
that
well
kinda
right now.
sounds
I
familiar.
agree. You're doing
You're
awesome.
doing great.
Yeah, there you
So,
go. Yeah.
But I got to give a shout out to all them that are listening, my friends and
Yeah.
family. Without them.
And help you push through.
Yeah.
Help
Oh,
you push
absolutely.
through.
Yep.
And we want to thank them too, because we've noticed a
Yes.
lot of people are joining on our Survivor Girl, and
Yeah.
they've been there to support and ready to for you today to be here on the show. And we thank you guys for subscribing and liking and sharing this, because we just want to be able to put the story out there and share it with others so that they can see that they can thrive and survive no matter how difficult
Yeah.
the situation that you're going through. And we don't know everything of what you're dealing with or what you've been
Sure.
through.
Mhm.
But when you have somebody that can relate, it's incredible to be able to talk to them.
That's another reason why I wrote the book. There's a
Yeah.
lot of reasons why I wrote it,
Yeah.
but I can't, to talk about it, which
Yeah.
is nice. You invited me to the podcast and
Yeah.
all this, and I'd like to do more. But the book, it was, when I'm doing the thing with the book here, it's usually a one-on-one,
Right. Right.
and so I'll be talking to somebody and they'll be going through something. They'll look at me, and they're like, "Oh, what's your story?" And I was electrocuted.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And then that's usually how the book gets passed.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people that are listening tonight are going to be wanting to read this book as well. So we're happy to be able to support that for you
Thank
as
you.
well.
Yeah.
Definitely believe that if we can just reach one person,
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
I think that's the whole reason why we started doing this. Is there's so many stories out there that people have to tell, and there's
That's
so
true.
many out there that don't know where to go to talk to people.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that we can continue to help those people find that person to connect with.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
so and through this, you say that your faith has gotten stronger. You talk
Excuse
a
me.
little bit of, yeah, you're fine.
Under the weather, I woke up this morning. I felt like a truck ran over me, and
Oh,
and
no.
that's it's when you're doing something like this,
Mhm.
everything in the
Everything
world's
that
trying
tries.
to keep you from
Oh, yeah.
doing it, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, so that's part of the fight too.
yeah.
But,
It ha-
One
yeah.
of the worst feelings in the world is waking up knowing that you want to.
There's something that you have to
There's
do.
something
that
you have
you're
to do, a
called
message you have to get out,
Yeah.
and then just not feeling
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
greatest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
mad respect for you to not cancel and
Yeah, thank you for still making it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with your faith, and you talk
Yeah.
about that getting stronger, and but you said you grew up with your faith already strong,
Well,
but it changes. It's a different
It
kind.
does.
I think it's a different kind of change when you or faith when you go through something traumatic like this,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So
I agree. The experience, I did have an experience. That's a lot of people come to me, did you see Jesus's face, and
right.
what did you experience? And I had to read a few books to make sure I wasn't making this thing up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so I write in the book, what I experienced, and and that's what it is.
I imagine you'd have a lot of questions like that. Lately, for me, I would usually listen into like CIA, FBI, stuff like that too. Just I don't know, just curious of just different things.
Yeah.
But lately, I like had a different calling, and I started listening to like angel stories and different stuff like that. And you hear all the different experiences of people that have gone through these kind of traumatic or have passed on or and then came back to life. The different things that they see.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I don't know if that's harder to hear than what I was listening to.
Yeah.
It's like, wow,
Yeah.
what an incredible thing. But I can't imagine that that was easy to talk about either, because people are skeptical about, what people would have. What did you see? What did you experience?
Yeah.
So did you kind of shy away from talking about that for a while?
Uh, well, that's just it. People want more.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
noticed that too.
Yeah.
So, and there is no more.
Right.
It's what I experienced, and this unconditional peace and love
I've heard that.
that is very real,
Mhm.
and it's nothing like here.
Yeah.
And so, I still fight with that today, wanting that. You know what I mean? And I know it's going to be
heard
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that when listening
Yeah.
to these stories. I've heard that they said it's just so unreal because you do feel so like you are at home, like that's where you are supposed to be,
Yeah.
and that it's hard to fight between the two worlds when you come back. That you
Oh, yeah. I write in the
you know.
book that, as you can see, there's the fire,
yeah
and so that vortex that I explain in the book, it's nothing like here,
yeah
and it's the scariest thing. And you got scary things here. You know what I mean?
yeah
That you try to get scared, but this is beyond.
yeah
Yeah, this is like forever type
Yeah.
thing.
right
And so, yeah, I fought with that. Yeah.
And I think that's a hard thing too that they were talking about is they love their family, they love their kids, their friends, everything that's here, but at that time you don't think about it because you are in such peace where you're
Yeah.
you experience that. And I think that a lot of the people that have passed on and came back, they feel like they're like not necessarily not being good to the people that they love here, but
Mhm.
that feeling like you're saying, to want to be in that
Yeah.
that peace again.
Yeah. Waking up, that was the worst. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. All I did was pray.
Yeah.
And so, for like 2 weeks straight, you
Yeah.
know, if you get me out of this, I'll do whatever it takes.
Wow.
And so here I am.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were talking before the podcast. You were supposed to go for a book signing, and then this came up.
Yeah. It got
It's
canceled.
like
And so,
another opportunity for you to come in and
Oh.
speak about it.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're so
Thank
glad.
you. No,
We're s-
thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us.
Mhm.
Tony's got a question. What kept you going when you were over it? Passage of scripture or prayer, and what kept you going?
Yeah. Prayer. Yeah.
Prayer for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's huge. A lot of people can't, the prayer and your choices that you make,
Mhm.
you got to have faith too, and a lot of people, can't do both.
Right.
They don't know, but you got to let God do what he does. And as long as you make the right choice, you got at least a chance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another thing too that I was hearing about, where they kind of have a review. You have a review when you're there of your life. Did you experience any of that?
No.
You didn't experience
No.
that.
Mm-mm.
It was probably so quick that you were back.
Yeah, the tunnel. I did witness that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I heard that
the
too.
tunnel effect. Yep.
Wow.
So
Did you? I don't mean to get too much into
Oh,
it
that's
because I know
fine.
it's your book, but did you experience anybody there for you when you seen the tunnel? Was there anybody to
No.
greet you at that point?
no,
Right.
and so that's the difference between my experience and
Mhm.
those that are they see family members and stuff
Yeah.
like this here.
But I imagine it's different for each and every one of us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that your shirt.
Yeah.
And your cross that you got on.
I
Thank you.
I had that made, and And so when I woke up, or when I was coming out of this,
Mhm.
and so yeah, there it is. Yeah,
That's awesome that you have that on and to represent,
yeah,
your faith and to show that. I mean, like I said too, when I was going through what I went through, because like you
sure.
said, everybody's different and all these
Oh,
traumas
absolutely,
that we go through.
absolutely.
It was the craziest thing because I was staying at my mom's house. Well, my mom, she at the time she could only sleep in the chair, so I was sleeping in her room. Well, she had this cabinet in the corner, and she had ended up going into the hospital that day. And when I went back, I was so tired. I laid down, and when I woke up, the cabinet was open, and
Wow.
nobody else was there. So my mom had this thing where she shoved the books in, but there was one sitting there, and it was Women of Faith, Strength of Women in Faith,
Hmm.
and it was right there. And I said, okay, okay, because with us we got diagnosed a week apart,
Yeah, I
and
was reading that. Yeah,
so when I seen that, I was
incredible.
like, okay, all right, I'm listening,
Yeah.
and you have that moment. It's just like, okay, I'm listening. And like you said, you kind of experience that too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
And
so many
that's
different.
just it. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
For those that are wanting to give up, you don't have to give up.
Right. Yeah.
Don't give up. And and if yeah, and that's another reason why I wrote the book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're even thinking about it, just pick it up, read it. You can make it.
You can make it through.
Absolutely.
You can, there's been so many different people that we've met that have just been so down and almost done.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we have allies for a reason. We're here. We have, we always like to say, if you need to, message us, inbox us. One of us will see the message.
Yeah.
We don't want you to feel like you're alone. If we don't know the answer, we'll put you through to somebody else that we can find to help you out.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the main reasons why we continue to do the show, is because we want to be able to help people. We don't want to see that, to get to that point. Because after all, we are human. We do feel, and we've both been through it to where we felt like,
Yes.
okay, we're done. We're done. I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah.
But something just kept saying, no, it's not time.
Yeah.
And we know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got like
That's
the
great.
chills still from
Yeah.
your story. It's just,
I did bring some the clothes that I did that they ripped off of me.
Oh,
That they
okay.
cut
I think
off.
it's in this bag.
oh,
over
you got
here.
a bag over
Oh, is
here.
it over
You
here?
have a bag
Oh,
over
We
okay.
got two.
Oh, it's over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wow.
don't ask me why, but yeah. So I hung on to them, and this is what they cut off of me.
Wow. It was
That yellow
insane.
strip. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been 11 years, you know,
Wow.
Wow.
and it seems like yesterday. So, yeah,
Wow.
and that's another thing you got to deal with too.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so, the work thing, I was always about working.
Yeah.
And
You grew up working farm, didn't you?
nah, not farm,
Not
but
farm.
no, but my dad,
Oh, yeah.
the work ethic,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
started this early, 11, 12 years old.
Mhm.
And we used to caddy and stuff like this at the country clubs.
Oh, okay,
and,
yeah.
walking all them miles, the Great Oaks and the Bloomfield Hills, and yeah. And so, yeah, that work ethic always it just went right through, and so, the union did find me, laborers and stuff like that when I was doing the underground, and then the gas company. I had left here, went to Florida for a little while,
Oh, okay.
and then came back, and that's when the gas company found me, and went and worked for them.
Yeah.
And it was just a short 6 years, and so Yeah.
It changed a lot.
yeah, I would never thought I'd be here.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Under the weather. This is horrible. Sorry.
You're all right. You're right. Oh, Tony, another question for you.
Sure.
How do we get a copy of your book?
Well, it's best if you could send me your information through instant messaging, if that makes sense. And then, as of tonight, I was thinking I'm gonna waive the shipping and handling. I'll cover that,
Mhm.
and the book is $13.95.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
if you just send me that and your information, and I can sign you,
That's
sign
cool.
you a copy and send it to you.
I think, if you guys got a chance to do that, we'll put the link or how to get a hold of him, and
Sure.
that way you guys can take advantage of that offer and get the book, because I know this time of season a lot of people are down and having a hard time
Absolutely.
going through the holidays, and we want you to be able to have that hope and that faith to keep going, and if
Absolutely.
if that's what you need at this time, I think I'm so glad that you're here and you have those copies for those people, because
Yeah.
that'll help them get through. You can eh, when things happen, the trauma that we've all gone through, sitting here in this room, um, you need that. You
Yeah.
just need that hope. It's the hope,
Oh, absolutely.
and then your faith.
And I fight with that today. I mean, I still do the things I need to do to get me here
Yeah, yeah,
to where I'm at right now.
yeah,
So if you need the help, go get it.
yeah.
It's there.
Right. Did you experience like you said, you experienced this stuff, but do you mean like
Oh,
trying to get
therapy.
yourself to get up to
Oh,
go?
oh, absolutely.
To go.
Therapy. That
Mm,
everything that goes with that.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's out there.
It's out there.
Seek it.
I think there's a big stigma about it too. I mean, it's getting to the point where people are more accepting to be able to go to therapy and try to find out how to get help and what's going on.
Mhm.
But growing up, the stigma was you don't need to go to no therapy. No, no,
Oh, no,
no.
right.
But now there's so many out there that you can go to,
Sure.
and you don't have to tell everybody that you're going. But another thing that we also had said on the show before is that if you don't like the one that you're seeing, you can always find another one too.
I've had 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Yeah. And,
exactly.
oh, absolutely.
You
And
don't
if
have
it
to
wasn't
just,
for them, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so you don't have to be stuck with the therapist that you get, and just look, research,
Yeah,
find somebody until you're
you are
comfortable.
not comfortable with the person that you're with, please look for
Yeah.
someone
Another
else.
therapist.
And there's different kinds of therapy too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
you don't always have to go to a psychiatrist.
Right.
There's
Right.
psychologists, and even a lot of ministers are trained to
Yeah, absolutely.
help too. So,
Good point. Good
yeah.
point on that.
Mhm.
There is too, and within your
Yeah.
church, you can
Yeah.
start there.
Yep.
And if that's not where you want, if you don't feel comfortable talking with your preacher, pastor, whatever, you can always go and seek other therapists that are out there as well.
A-
And that's awesome that is available.
And you should also never forget that what you say to a therapist is between you and the therapist.
Confidential.
It's
Yep.
confidential.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
and you don't have to share that with anybody if you don't want
Right.
to. But if you see somebody else struggling and you want to share that with them, hey,
mhm.
I go to therapy. I do.
Yeah.
I share it on the show constantly.
Yeah.
I've been going since I was 16 for different things, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Yep.
I want other people to know that, so that if they're feeling ashamed or they don't know where to go, that they can seek that. Because I don't want it to be that you feel like you can't. It's not something that has to be hidden anymore. And I
Yeah.
know we grew up kind of like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of tough
And I
love.
preach, at home. My son and my daughters and my wife.
Yeah.
I was doing the Knights of Columbus for a while there, and she was like, "You need to come home." And so,
Yeah.
I was getting away, and a lot of this, helping other people. Christine was like, "You need to come home now.
Yeah.
Where are you?"
Right.
I'm like, "Okay."
So with this happening, has she built up a fear of it ever happening or something else happening to you, to where she's constant, like messaging to, "Are you okay? Are you all right?"
Yeah,
Has she
right.
experienced any of
Yeah.
that?
I, in different ways.
Yeah.
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 I think, yeah.
Yeah. That.
And it's a lot on her as well.
Right,
The
right.
trauma of almost losing your husband
Oh
and
yeah.
what's going to happen with the kids and all this and all that.
Yeah. I can't even begin to imagine.
She's done really well.
It's so good that you have that rock in your life.
Yeah.
And now after you guys got through where you were, after therapy and different things,
Yeah.
have you guys become even stronger than before everything happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible to
That's
have.
another thing. Yeah. I mean, your faith is very important when it comes to marriage, and
Mhm.
you don't give up. You know.
Absolutely. I think that is a very important thing. Me and my fiance, we pray together, and
Sure.
I've never had that before. I've
Yeah.
never had that before, and
Yeah.
it's a good thing to have. It's strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's incredible. Wow.
So
Yeah, there's just so many things that you go through to
y-
try to get back.
yeah,
So
and the
you fight.
lifting,
Yeah.
that was huge for me
Yeah.
too. I used to do some shows back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So the weight training was huge for
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah, I have a twin brother. His name's Kenny, and we would train together. And so I train to this day. I just can't let that go. I gotta have that's a staple
Right.
in my daily routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
think that for other people that go through a trauma that they should try to find something else that will keep
oh,
them going.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too easy to turn to, right?
Yeah.
Turn
Yeah.
to the drug,
Yeah.
and so you want to get away from that.
Yeah. Something
Very
healthy
important.
to
Oh,
focus
absolutely.
your
Yep.
time and energy on, something to keep you going in a different avenue.
Absolutely.
And I think some people that go through those traumas that are into, drugs and different things,
Yep.
when something like that happens, that's incredible when you watch them turn around.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah.
I was very close. We
Oh.
come from right, the alcoholic
Yeah.
family, very addictive.
Mm.
And so for this to be placed on upon me was just another reason to look to my faith to say, Lord, take
Yeah.
this.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
So, coming from the alcoholic background,
Sure.
is there anything that you've done differently with your children as far as,
You know, yeah, that's a touchy subject too.
Right.
But I had to start somewhere.
Right.
Mhm.
And for as far as my mom passing on, and there was no how do you say closure.
Okay.
No
Yeah.
closure.
Yeah.
No closure. So yeah, where are we going with that? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. I was just wondering if your background changed how you brought up your
Oh,
children.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was that difference?
Just that's another thing. Yeah. There was no smoking, no alcohol,
Right.
no
So
Okay.
they
drugs.
didn't
I
see any of
preached.
that.
Oh yeah, I preached all the time.
Yeah.
And then I get electrocuted. Right?
Right.
So how do you keep the pain pills, and you keep this and
Oh,
this and
yeah.
that, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And so that was tough too.
Yeah.
And just that transition to get away from that medication
Mm-hmm.
was a whole different,
And a whole nother
whole
monster.
nother level.
Yeah.
Whole nother level.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, because it's so easy when you're in pain to be like, well, I can take this pill and it will fix that. And
Oh,
you get
absolutely.
your body, you're
Oh,
used to it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you become having to take more in order to get that same. So I can see it's a slippery slope.
Oh, absolutely.
So
And I will continue to sit here and what other podcasts I do or whatever speaking that it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It has everything to do with our Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's tough for people to take, right, Tony?
Some people.
So
yeah,
Some people have a hard time with religion. I know I've known quite a few people that have grown up and they seen some of the older ways of church or whatever.
sure.
And like for instance, somebody that was close to me growing up, they went to the church. He had, long hair. He didn't quite fit into what norm
Sure.
would be at the time. And the church was very harsh on him about that.
Sure.
So for him, faith has not been anything in his life after that. And I've seen that a handful of times with
Yeah.
people. And it's really about going out and trying to find where you feel that your home is at.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a church, congregation, whatever, it's really about going out. Like same thing with therapist.
Yeah.
You find where you're comfortable and where you fit.
Yeah.
You don't have to stick to just one. Come with the whole having the faith.
Yeah.
Faith
Yeah.
is a powerful, and so are prayers.
And it shouldn't be an experience that like this to move you to your faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I always say, don't let the trauma get to you before you start moving in that direction. Don't
Amen.
let something
Amen.
like that happen to you to keep you from moving forward in your life.
That's right.
Try so hard to find that before something like that happens. You know, it helps to keep you keep reaching.
Yeah.
You know, always with you. Have after that has happened,
Mm.
the second chance. Have you felt like that? Like
Second
I got my
chance.
second chance. I
You know,
gotta keep doing.
I almost started comparing myself to people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
These daredevils that
yeah,
try to take their life, you know, in different things. You know what I mean? Like I should have been gone 15, 20 times ago. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And no, I believe in my heart that when it's your time to go, it's your time to go, and
Mhm.
he'll take you,
Yeah.
take you home. Yeah.
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 For sure. I know after the situation that we've gone through, like the second chance, it's like
Mhm.
people say, I mean, do you ever stop? You keep on going. What you doing? Well,
That's right.
I'm living my life. The
Amen.
second I got another chance,
Yeah.
I can't
Oh,
stop.
oh, you can't. Oh no.
You know,
Uh-uh.
can't stop.
No.
And so, you know, I was like, okay, can you take a minute? No, no, I got
You take a
ideas.
minute.
I got stuff I got to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thankful
Yeah.
for that.
I got to be careful with that. You know, you
Yeah,
almost got to be careful with that, right?
true,
I mean, in a
true. You
sense.
got to watch yourself.
But there's, yeah.
You
You
gotta,
got Christine and the kids. You
right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And if I can do this, this is what I want to do, right? There's a few things that I'm doing right now, you know,
Yeah,
that I hope this takes place of that.
yeah,
And if that can,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a great thing too with working at Bronner's. We do the season, and then we have time to
What
do
a
stuff like this.
what a wonderful family. We could sit here and talk about that for
Isn't
an
it
hour.
though?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's a
incredible.
special place.
It is very much so, and they are so good to the people that work for them.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think, you know, seeing that was another thing that really moved me.
Okay.
You know, because I worked for a different company in retail for a long time,
Yeah.
and it was night and day going from there to
I
that
hear
place.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really restored a lot of faith for that kind of thing too for me. And
Yeah.
it's just, it's awesome. I'm so
Oh,
glad that we got to meet there.
Oh, absolutely. And the testimony that Wally Browner had in the family
Yeah.
is just,
Incredible.
huge. Yeah.
I was going to say Wally was amazing as far as he was taken too soon, I think.
Yeah.
Simply because he would walk around that whole entire store, and each time he would go up to one of his employees, he would greet that employee
Yeah.
Yeah.
by name.
Yeah.
And if you were a friend of one of the employees hanging out with him, he would interact with
Yeah.
you and